The best part about layouts is that you can reuse them. This means you only have to set up your 11 by 17 inch layout one time, and then you can use it for any other drawing you wish to print to 11 by 17 paper. Let's plot this drawing using an existing layout. Now I've got a drawing on my screen. If you'd like to open the same drawing, this guy is located inside the Chapter 15 folder, inside the Exercise Files directory, and this is the number 6 stereo viewer drawing. Now I would like to print this drawing to an 11 by 17 sheet of paper, and I'd like to use my company title block. Now I could go through the effort of setting up my own layout. That would take a little bit of time, but you know what? I don't have to. I already have an 11 by 17 layout that I used in another drawing. What I'd like to do is I'd like to take an 11 by 17 inch layout from an existing drawing, and I'd like to bring it into this one. To do that, I'm going to use Autocad's Design Center. Now the Design Center allows us to steal content from an existing Autocad drawing. To bring the Design Center up on screen, I'm going to use a Control key sequence. I'm going to hold my Control key and hit the number 2 on my keyboard. When this comes up, it's essentially split into 2 panes. The left pane acts just like Windows Explorer, and the right pane is where we can see our content. So I'm going to move into the left pane and let's navigate to the drawing that contains my 11 by 17 layout. Now that's in my Exercise Files directory, so I'm going to click my plus. We'll open up this folder. Then I'm going to come down into the Chapter 15 folder. We'll click the plus to open up this guy. And I'm going to go to this drawing, number 6, 80s Game Controller Finished. This is where the Design Center surpasses Windows Explorer. Notice this plus. The Design Center is allowing me to navigate into this drawing. Let me click the plus to open it up, and AutoCAD gives me a list of all of the items that I can take from this file. One of them happens to be layouts. Let me click. Right up here I can see a layout that I've called 11 by 17. To bring this into my current drawing, I'm going to click, hold, and I'm going to drag it in and release. Now that I'm finished with the Design Center, I'm going to come up and click the X to close the palette. Now I dragged in that layout. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to come down and click my Quick View Layout tool. AutoCAD shows me some previews. Here's the 11 by 17 inch layout that I dragged in. Let me click the preview to take a look at the layout. Now notice that my layout still shows geometry from the other drawing. Remember, AutoCAD's not the best at keeping up with the thumbnail images. If I want to correct this thumbnail, I'm just going to click once to go to model space, and then I'll click once to come back. Now the nice thing about this layout is it's already set up to plot. All I have to do is take care of my viewport. In fact, I remember in the previous drawing, I had created a viewport already. Let's turn on the layer. Let me come up to the layer control, click the flyout, and we'll come down and we'll turn on our viewport layer. Let me click on my layout to clear the menu. There's my viewport, but you know what? Where's my part? Remember, the viewport is a window into model space. I should be able to see my part. Well, think of it this way. This layout comes from another drawing. There's no guarantee that the geometry in that drawing was created in the same coordinate space as my current drawing. So to see my geometry, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the viewport edge, because I happen to remember this was a locked viewport. I'm going to come down and click the padlock. Now the viewport's unlocked. Let me double click inside the viewport. I can see by the icon that I am now inside the viewport. And I'm going to double click the wheel on my mouse. Let's do a zoom extents. There's my geometry. All right, all we have to do is set this viewport to a measurable scale. To do that, I'm going to click outside the viewport. We'll grab the viewport edge. Let me click the flyout and let's try half scale. Let's see if this drawing will fit at half scale. Oh, it'll obviously fit at half. Let me click the flyout again. Let's try 1:1. That's not too bad. It looks like it will fit on the sheet, but my viewport's a little small. That's all right. Take a look at these grips. I can edit my viewport using these grips. Let me click this grip, and I'm going to place it to the endpoint right here. Remember that your viewport is a window to model space. If I click a grip, I can open and close this viewport as much as I like. Let me click this grip. I've got a running object snap set for endpoint, so I'm going to drop it right here. Now my viewport is as large as it can be in this title block, and I can see that my geometry fits at 1:1. When I'm finished, I'm going to hit Escape to clear my grips, and I can plot this drawing. To plot the drawing, I'll just come down and click the icon, and I'll select OK. And on my screen, we can see an example of the finished plot. Imagine if you created a master drawing on your network that contained all of your typical title blocks saved as layouts. Anytime you needed to add a title block to a drawing, you could simply drag and drop a layout from your master file. Layouts give you the power of automating your title block insertions and reduce the effort of plotting to a couple clicks of your mouse.